Everything.
After everything I've done for those two,
Try and move on.
I hope we can fix this.
I'm not really sure at the moment.
But I feel that as long as she's with him, we cannot.
Now some breaking news.
FanDuel is coming to Kentucky.
Of course, all anyone has been talking about today, FanDuel is going live soon.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. FanDuel is coming to town. Fun is about to begin, everybody. I'm pumped. Let's go.
America's #1 sportsbook is headed to Kentucky. Get $100 in bonus bets when you sign up today. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
Warm weather is here, and so are those pesky critters.
News 40 weather keeps you one step ahead with our Pestcast.
Mondays on News 40 at 6 and 10.
News 40's Pestcast is brought to you by Guarantee Pest Control.
I'm Tommy Modesto. Join me for Soki's Choice on News 40 Sunrise. Every Tuesday, we'll showcase the top local entertainment, events, and happenings taking place across the South Central Kentucky region.
Soki's Choice, brought to you by J.C. Kirby & Son.
Everything about a big truck crash is serious. At Hughes & Coleman, we give these cases the urgent attention they demand. So if you've been injured, call the real truck lawyers at Hughes & Coleman.
WNKY News 40 Weather wants you to join our team. Become a weather watcher at WNKY.com. You can connect directly with our team. Plus, your photos and videos will be featured in our weathercasts.
Presented by JB Electric.
Welcome to the country.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Scott Burchett. Join us each weeknight for News 40 at 5.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 5. I'm Morgan Hoover.
And I'm Chris Allen. Here we go into a finally Friday.
Finally Friday. We're on the cusp of the weekend. It's great.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Now, today felt a little more humid and a little bit warmer, and there were even a few sprinkles out there. Looking at live radar, I'm not seeing anything right now, but earlier there were a couple of little echoes on the screen, but all that now has faded away. I think our chances of seeing anything else is going to fade away as well. Right now, we have a temperature of 82 with a north wind at 6 and the dew point at 64. We're going to see and feel a lot better numbers as we head into the weekend. Your 7-day forecast is just ahead. Morgan?
All right, Chris, and we are just 59 days away from the November election. Gubernatorial candidate Daniel Cameron was in Morgantown today, speaking to supporters, saying he wants to put education first, as well as cracking down on crime. He also said he'll keep fighting for Kentucky's family unit and wants to bring a sense of morality to the office, which he feels is lacking. Recently, he's been under scrutiny from the Democratic Party for a political ad that includes Governor Andy Beshear's young daughter. We asked him about that ad and if he felt using family members in opposing campaigns was something he supported.
Well, look, the ad you're referring to is by an outside group. We don't have any control over that.
That outside group is associated with Senator Rand Paul, who has yet to comment on the ad. Paul is slated to be in Simpson County tomorrow for a GOP picnic. News 40 will continue to follow this developing story. A crime alert now. A man charged in the death of a WKU student, Ayanna Morgan, was found guilty in a drug trafficking case this week. He'll spend at least 7 years behind bars for these drug charges. Kobe Lancaster was charged with first-degree assault in connection with the shooting that killed Morgan back in July. But he was already facing drug trafficking charges from a previous incident. This week, a jury found him guilty of trafficking in over 4,000 fentanyl pills, along with several other crimes. He faces a recommended sentence of 15 years with parole eligibility after serving half of that sentence. He's still awaiting a trial in the death of Ayanna Morgan. Well, it's a busy weekend for many folks in the area with lots of people traveling to Bowling Green. Beach Bend is hosting the Holly LS Fest at the drag strip, expecting 50,000 guests. And the Hilltoppers are celebrating Parents Weekend, welcoming many families from near and far. So what does this mean for local drivers like you?
Extra traffic and traffic delays and congestion should be expected over the weekend. So motorists are encouraged to give extra travel time to wherever you're going, particularly if you're going into the more busy areas of Bowling Green.
The Transportation Department is also set to start 2 resurfacing projects this weekend and early next week. Campbell Lane will be milled and resurfaced between Scottsville Road and Nashville Road. And US 31W bypass from the roundabout to Campbell Lane will be resurfaced as well.
These are major routes. US 31W and US 231 Campbell Lane are major routes. And so it's going to be very hard for people who use those routes every day to totally avoid them. But certainly if they are able to, that would be beneficial to them.
To keep traffic impacts down during the day, the road work will be done at night. And while you're taking these routes, use slower speeds and caution as the pavement will be uneven. More local news now as November nears. We are learning that voter registration in Kentucky has increased for the 6th straight month. Secretary of State Michael Adams says more than 7,000 new voters were added in August. Republican voters account for 46% of the electorate. Democrats make up 44%. But Adams said in several months this year, more independent voters have registered than Republicans and Democrats combined. Lots of action happening south of Bowling Green as well this weekend as thoroughbred racing continues at Kentucky Downs in Franklin. Saturday, a total of $6 million races will take place at the track where you can quench your sports betting thirst while waiting for a sports book to open. On Sunday, 2 races worth $500,000 each will happen, while another 2 take place on Wednesday. If you've never been to the track at Kentucky Downs before, let one of its winningest trainers tell you what to expect.
Just say look around, it's a good time. If you don't like the horses, you can go to the casino, play a little of horses. Not far from Nashville, which is always a good time.
Racing will wrap up on Wednesday, September 13th. Continuing our coverage of the looming auto workers strike as employees find GM's latest offer, quote, insulting.
The Union of Auto Workers isn't slamming the brakes on the idea of striking.
We are the union!
Mighty, mighty union!
Mighty, mighty union!
And those union workers have a mighty, mighty list of demands, including a 40% raise over the length of a 4-year contract, the ending of a 2-tier wage system for some workers, and a 32-hour work week at full pay.
In 2009, we took concessions, and the companies has made billions, and they haven't given anything back.
General Motors made a counteroffer Thursday that features a 10% pay hike.
We want this offer and the dialogue that follows with our UAW bargaining committee to send a clear signal that the goal remains the same, an agreement that moves us all forward.
And while GM President Mark Royce believes a deal can be reached,
I'm confident that we have what it takes to win and win together. And that's why we need a fair contract.
UAW President Shawn Fain issued a statement that said GM's counteroffer was, quote, an insulting proposal that doesn't come close to an equitable agreement. If the roughly 145,000 workers with GM, Ford, and Stellantis go on a 10-day strike, the U.S. economy could lose at least $5 billion, according to Anderson Economic Counseling.
And the current deal between the union and the big 3 automakers ends at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on September 14th. If the 2 sides don't come to terms by then, a strike could start the following day. Well, still to come on News 40 at 5. Though the fountain of youth can never be obtained, it doesn't mean that aging has to be a curse. Later, we'll have some tips on staying healthy as you age. But first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is back with a full look at our forecast. He'll tell us what we can expect to see as we prepare for our weekend right after this.
WNKY News 40, broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green.
I'm waking up my day, so let's get it started. Turn it up, turn it on, keep the morning moving right along.
Watch WNKY News 40 Sunrise for the latest in local news.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on News 40 Sunrise.
Weather on the 4s to get you out the door.
Good morning to everyone at home.
And local events and entertainment to jumpstart your day.
News 40 Sunrise Way.
Weekday morning starting at 6.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
This is my dad, Audie, and he is absolutely precious.
When it came to making some life-changing decisions for my mother, we found the folks here at Massey Springs to be so helpful.
They had that personal touch that we were looking for, and we could tell it was the perfect place for our mom.
We found the folks here at Massey Springs compassionate and caring.
Massey Springs was definitely the right choice for me and my dad.
Massey Springs Senior Living. Here, we're family. Schedule your tour with us today.
Connect with WNKY News 40 on social media. Follow us at WNKY TV.
Hey y'all, it's Bree with the Pie Queen's Pantry. Don't miss this week's episode. We're gonna be talking about some delicious sprinkled cookies. See you this week on the Pie Queen's Pantry.
Do you guys have a lie detector?
We're the lie detector.
Hot Bench.
Time now for a full look at our forecast with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, we're all just counting down the minutes. I know you and I especially just for the weekend. We're almost there.
We're almost there, and it's going to feel a lot better.
Good.
Each day that passes through the weekend, and then we're going to get another shot of cooler air by the middle of next week and a little bit of rain to go with it. So it's all looking good. Here's a look at the 4-hour radar animation. And if you look closely, right around the Bowling Green area and just to the north, you see these little specks that will show up right there, a little bit of green from time to time. Some of you did pick up a brief shower or even just a sprinkle with some of the available moisture that's still hanging around. You can tell even looking outside. You get the dark undersides of those clouds and you know something's up. Not every cloud is producing shower activity, but there's just enough there to produce sprinkles, which if you followed my forecast yesterday, I said that was a possibility today, and some of you did get that. And even looking from our tower cam, which is in Smiths Grove near I-65 and 6880, you can see some of the dark undersides there. There may be a little sprinkle that shows up. But we only made it to 83 today, 2 degrees shy of the normal of 85. 62 was our low temperature, just 1 degree shy of average for this time of the year. So not too bad. This was a typical early September day for southern Kentucky. Some of you are now in the upper 70s and did not make it out of the 70s today. 82 is the temperature currently at the airport in Bowling Green, and the dew points, we'll say they're moderately muggy, because when you go 64, 65, 68, it starts to feel a little more uncomfortable when you're outdoors. But then when you see low 60s, like to the north, and you see some of that green painted in there, that means a more comfortable atmosphere. So some of you did get the benefit of that today, but everybody's going to get in on it over the weekend and into next week. Here's a look at Futurecast showing some of those little blips on the radar, future radar showing a little shower or maybe a sprinkle or two, but a lot of that will come to an end this evening. Just some scattered clouds. We'll call it partly cloudy overnight tonight. A nice northerly flow here is going to help us dip into the 60s for overnight lows. Tomorrow when you wake up, there could be some clouds, and then by afternoon, we could see more of these little pop-up showers and possibly even a thunderstorm. Just a little disturbance is going to work its way through the area. As we get into Sunday morning, a lot of that activity will move south into Middle Tennessee away from us. So just a brief shower during the day tomorrow if you've got something planned, like maybe going to the Western game. I think we're going to be okay except for a shower or two. And then, of course, all eyes on Hurricane Lee, already a major hurricane. It's been up to Cat 5. It's Cat 4 now with winds over 150 miles per hour. And by Monday, it'll be closer to the Midland, or the mainland of the United States, I should say. But it's still going to be several days before we get it in here. But it is the system to watch. Tonight, 62, partly cloudy with some patchy fog. And then as we get into the rest of the weekend and next week, oh boy, look at this. Low 70s by Thursday. Is that real? 72 by next Thursday. A couple of shower chances, one tomorrow afternoon, and then another one on Tuesday with those even cooler temperatures. Here's what's coming up tonight on NBC 40.
The fresh timer starts the minute a tomato gets picked. That's why at Kroger, we shorten the time from harvest to home. So no matter how you shop, you'll have more time to enjoy your fresh produce. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Horses, bourbon, and the great outdoors. That's Kentucky. Original, majestic, and wide open. In one day, visit legendary distilleries, explore horse country, or put on your hiking shoes and get out there. This is Kentucky. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Now through September 13th, you can join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th. That's how we do.
At Spring Hill Pharmacy, we see that simple packaging can benefit a lot of people with taking their medications simply and correctly. With Smart Pack, you can have the confidence you're taking the medications at the right dose and at the right time. We are committed to providing you with a safe and organized tool to help make your life easier and worry-free. Spring Hill Pharmacy, where helping people is what we do. Visit us on Russellville Road in Bowling Green.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
At Kroger, everyone wins when it comes to savings because you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery as you do in store. So no matter how you shop, everyone saves big. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Staying healthy is critical to independence and a good quality of life, but many seniors struggle with everyday challenges. Tonight, health experts have some tips. A long life is a blessing and sometimes a curse.
You can't stop the clock. Your body is going to age.
Dr. Kenneth Consilja with Cleveland Clinic says as the years go by, the changing body allows for more health problems. But there are healthy ways to age. His first tip, get daily exercise. Commit to being active every day, but choose to do something you enjoy.
Commitments to exercise or promises to yourself only become a habit if it's something that you're going to be able to do, that you're going to love doing.
Eating a healthy diet with lots of fruits and veggies and limiting alcohol, processed foods, and red meats is key. Consilja says it's also critical to continue learning.
Reading books, learning new things, learning an instrument, singing, learning a new language, learning a new hobby. These things are all great exercises for your brain.
This can also help with staying social, another boost for your brain. Finally, Consil just says to focus on getting those Z's.
Making sure that we're not watching the TV as we're falling asleep, or that we're trying to get at least 6 to 7 hours of good quality sleep at night, undisturbed. That's very important for your brain health and for your overall physiology.
The doctor says it's also important for seniors to keep good relationships with their primary care physician and to do routine checkups and screenings to catch any health issues early on. Well, the Supreme Court is again being asked to make a major ruling on abortion in an election year. It's a request by the manufacturer of the widely used abortion drug mifepristone. A filing asked the justices to reverse a lower court ruling that would restrict access to the drug. The Supreme Court could rule on this long-running dispute next summer, putting the decision right in the middle of the election season. Mifepristone remains available for now. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is now available to millions of people nationwide who use American Sign Language, or ASL. The expanded service launched today. It's available for callers who are deaf, deaf-blind, or hard of hearing using a video telephone. It's available to anyone seeking help with suicidal crises, mental health, or emotional distress. Still to come on News 40 at 5, a newly released report by the judge presiding over the Georgia grand jury investigating former President Donald Trump shows the panel recommended indicting 21 additional people. We'll have the latest details after this.
Andy Bashir is lying about sex change surgery for kids.
Those procedures don't happen here in Kentucky.
That's not true. Bashir knows it, and medical records prove it.
LGBTQ advocates and the governor said these surgeries weren't happening. A newly discovered letter from UK Healthcare conflicts with that claim.
If Andy Bashir will lie about sex change surgery for kids,
those procedures don't happen here in Kentucky.
What else is he lying about?
Do you want to experience Topper Walk? The atmosphere. Tailgating on the hill. Game day on the hill is the place to be.
Purchase your tickets today. Go Tops.
Whoa! Big news. DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. You'll be so dialed into every play that you forget to eat your wings. You made my wings cold, DraftKings. Flailing your arms like you can disrupt the free throw. Miss, fool! And a home run will have you crying like it's the birth of your child. I'm so happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to Kentucky. New customers, download the app now to get $200 in bonus bets when we go live. Because life's more fun when you're in on the action. The crown is yours.
Yeah.
Listen to the WNKY News 40 weather drive time forecast. Weekdays on All Hit Woohoo 107.
Just rockin' and rollin', baby.
Come back tomorrow.
We got you all fixed up. Got it all fixed up for you, ma'am. Let there be light, ma'am.
Looks like she finally called JB.
At WNKY News 40, we're always on. WNKY.com has the latest in breaking news, local headlines, weather forecasts, and sports highlights. WNKY News 40, because local matters. Here in South Central Kentucky, we are no strangers to a natural disaster. Even this summer, Mother Nature has wreaked havoc with dangerous temperatures and for some, a devastating financial impact. Now may be a good time to ask, are your finances prepared to weather another natural disaster? Karen Kafa asked the experts how to stay prepared for the unexpected.
Mother Nature has been punishing this summer, and hurricane season could bring more chaos before it wraps up. The National Hurricane Center says it's important to think a few steps ahead.
Often people, when they evacuate out of a hurricane zone, they underestimate how long it might take to safely get back into the community that they've evacuated from.
And in the stressful run-up to a natural disaster like a hurricane or wildfire, basic needs like food, shelter, and water take priority, which is why experts recommend having a disaster readiness financial plan at the ready year-round. To do that, FEMA recommends the following steps. First, gather your important financial documents and contacts. For documents that are paper only, take a photo and keep some cash in a safe place in case ATMs or banks are inaccessible. Review your insurance policies to be sure that they are current and know the range of disasters for which they'll support you. FEMA also suggests safeguarding paper and electronic copies of all files in safe locations and updating items anytime there's a big life change like a move, a job switch, or the birth of a child. If households update a plan periodically, it's one less thing to think about when emergency is imminent, information flow is rapid, and decisions need to be made quickly.
Just focus on the information that is pertinent to you, your area, and that is actionable.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
Well, it's likely that you keep personal information on your iPhone. That's why Apple is urging users to update their operating systems immediately. A company has issued an update that fixes a vulnerability that hackers may already be exploiting. Experts say iPhone and iPad owners should immediately go to the software update option on the device and begin that process. The IRS now has an additional $80 billion to ramp up enforcement, but don't worry, it's probably not you they're after. The agency says it's shifting its focus more on corporations, partnerships, and people who make at least $400,000 a year. If you are under that threshold, the good news is the agency says it won't increase audit rates. The increase in funds comes from the Inflation Reduction Act. And more national news, add one more battle to Donald Trump's list. The former president is now fighting an effort to keep him off the 2024 ballot in Colorado. A lawsuit filed by Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics was filed earlier this week, and Trump's attorneys want it moved from state court to federal court. The group is looking to disqualify Trump by citing the 14th Amendment's ban on insurrectionists holding public office. This is the first high-profile legal case attempting to use the 14th Amendment to derail Trump's presidential campaign. And tonight we're also getting our first look at a grand jury report that investigated former President Trump's involvement in trying to overturn the Georgia 2020 election results. The grand jurors are recommending the indictment of 21 additional people. NBC's Alice Barr reports.
In Georgia today, a previously secret report was released showing that a special grand jury in Fulton County recommended indicting 21 additional people in the state election interference case against former President Trump and his already 18 co-defendants. Among those 21 new names that the district attorney chose not to charge, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump ally.
I voted to certify the election. To suggest I'm part of some grand scheme to overturn the election makes no sense.
Georgia's Republican Secretary of State has said that Senator Graham suggested the secretary had the authority to reject certain absentee ballots, making him feel pressured. Senator Graham today refuting that, insisting he simply wanted clarity about the state's process before voting to certify the election.
I asked him questions about the mail-in voting process. I never asked him to set aside ballots or anything else.
The newly revealed names come after a judge ordered the release of a report summarizing the findings of the special grand jury that investigated Mr. Trump and his allies' efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. Also named but never charged, former Georgia Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler.
The grand jury makes decisions perhaps about who they can indict, who they believe that there is sufficient evidence for, and then it's really up to the prosecutor to exercise her discretion to make a decision as to who they should indict.
Former President Trump on social media blasting the grand jury report, saying, quote, they wanted to indict anybody who happened to be breathing at the time. He denies any wrongdoing. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, stay with us. We'll have a final look at your forecast coming up right after this.
I'm waking up my day, so let's get it started. Turn it up, turn it on, keep the morning moving right along. Yeah, I'm waking up my day, this morning sunrise way. I'm waking up my day, WNKY. Yeah, when you want the force to get you out the door. I'm waking up my day,
starting at 6.
You see the worst of the worst in this job, but I do it to bring justice for victims and help them move on with their lives. When a woman or girl becomes pregnant from rape, the trauma is unimaginable. Daniel Cameron thinks a 9-year-old rape survivor should be forced to give birth. Nobody, no child, should ever have to go through that. Cameron believes rapists deserve more rights than their victims. That's extreme, and it's dangerous.
Can't watch us live on WNKY News 40? Watch us anytime on View It.
My favorite promotion that we've done so far has been College Nights. We're going to bring it back for Thirsty Thursday on September 7th.
My favorite promotion has been Princess and Pirate Night. That's why we're bringing it back September 8th with a villain twist and post-game fireworks.
And my favorite event this year was Bourbon Bands and Barbecue, so we're going to honor this parent event, Bourbon and Brew Fest, for September on September 9th, with even more post-game fireworks.
My favorite part this season was having all the fans out to the ballpark. And what better way to celebrate that than Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday, September 10th.
Get your tickets at bghotrods.com.
Hey y'all, it's Bree with the Pie Queen's Pantry. Don't miss this week's episode. We're gonna be talking about some delicious sprinkled cookies. See you this week on the Pie Queen's Pantry.
The Warren County Public Library presents best-selling author Rhea Fry, Sunday, September 10th at the Bob Kirby Branch. Join us as Fry discusses her journey as an author and latest novel, The Other Year. Free tickets are limited and available at warrenpl.org.
Well, if you're a Trekkie, every day is a day to celebrate Star Trek, but everyone can be an honorary Trekkie today because it is Star Trek Day. Round of applause for that. It's observed around the world every year on September 8th. That's because on September 8th in 1966, Star Trek was introduced on NBC. Hard to believe. Chris, you're a big Trekkie.
Yes, I watched the original when it came out. I mean, you know, I'm as old as William Shatner, 90-something. But,
right.
Yeah, live long and prosper.
Hey, I love it.
Yes, absolutely. So, yes, in our space, see what I did there? The forecast is calling for a pretty nice weekend. There may be a shower tomorrow, but other than that, we are good to go.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you at home.